In the US, is 5 p.m. and other places it's after 6 as well. So based on the time zone, so there's been a little change in the US. Usually in Liberia we used to come on 6, but there has been a little, the people in the US they are season, so because of that, so there will be change in the time. But today, it promises to be good. Um, the program highlights issues of concerns, national concerns. We discuss humanity. We talk Liberia, the good part of the country. We talk the common good of this nation. This program is not intended uh, to promote politicians. It's not intended to give relevance to politicians. But when the good things are done, we say them. When the government does the right thing, we do it. We say it here. When things are wrong, we say it the way they should be said. We all know allegiance to any political institution. This radio is strictly a humanitarian radio. It's a non-governmental institution, and the CEO is Mr. Christopher Kier, a philanthropist, a humanitarian, a man who has given back to society tremendously in different ways, whether health, education, sanitation, or agriculture. He has impacted lives, and the foundation has been there giving back to society. And so on the platform, we bring people of high IQs, people who uh, have knowledge, who are knowledgeable about happenings in society, people who come to the platform with facts, and of course, our panelists are always there in the US. The General, Mr. Monique Kishen, and of course, the CEO, Mr. Andrew Kier, and other panelists. They also join the show, you know, to share their thoughts. And we would like to say again, with all of the discussions, after that, we open the telephone lines and make it interactive with you. And so on today's edition, we will look at this whole issue about the decentralization of the ports. And what will be highlighted today is the port of the Kiana, and of course the role of Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence and Pro Tem, and of course Senator Darius Dillon Monserrato County, the legislators as well, and then the president, his role also um, in that bill or proposal, as you may put it. And so we also give you highlights or updates here from Liberia relative to what the government continues to do. And so we hear you there uh, in Maryland, you're in Sino, you're in Grand Crew, you're in Nimba, you're in Bombing, you're in Grand Bassa or Lofa, or maybe in Bapolu or Cape Mount. Well, wherever you are, this is your platform. This is a humanitarian platform. We say join us as we talk uh, national issues and we discuss humanity. My name is Jefferson Perry. We are always here, your producer, and of course, our technician is in the background, Mr. Joseph Massa, as well, and of course, General Manikishan is there already. So let me cross over to him now. General, good evening from Liberia. Good afternoon to you there in the US. Welcome.
Yeah, and good evening, Jerry and Jefferson. Can you hear me loud and clear?
You're crystal clear.
Yeah, I just trying this new earphone I just got, so I'm trying to see if it's working. Yeah, and thank you. You said it all. Your intro was clear, and for those of you who are listening, Happy New Year again. I hope your 2026 will be better than your 2025. And let us have a good show today, and we'll be on the topic. It's national issue, and also we'll be talking about humanitarian work, whether humanitarians are people who sacrifice, who put in the time, but what are the benefits? What are we in this thing here for? And so we'll be diving into that, and we've been doing things in different areas. It is enough, or it's not enough, or are the people willing to help to work with humanitarian groups or whatsoever? And we'll also, like you said, we'll look at the decentralization of votes in Liberia. We hearing mixed feelings, and some people are saying the president should sign. Some say no, the president should not sign. And we don't know. They run the government, but we want to hear from you. And We want to be in the middle. We want to be one of these group where we don't take side. We owe loyalty to no political party. Yes, as individual, it is our constitutional rights to do whatsoever in politics, but the institution has no loyalty to any political party. So if you're from the UP, you even want to do a business with us, you can come in. You from the Liberty Party, you from the CDC, you from the ANC. If you want to do a business with us, you are free. You will pay and do whatsoever. And we hope everything to be good. And I want to say thanks to the station, Jefferson, for your time, your effort. I know it's not an easy thing. You have to be there on Sunday, the same way I'm just from church. And so, how was service today, Jefferson? You went to church today?
Well, I didn't go today. I had some horse chores doing.
So you
Yeah,
call out. So they
yeah,
say
yeah,
they
yeah.
can call out from church to the point America can call out to. They can ask. They say no good church today. And
No,
I see you got Mr.
I'm
Massa in the
telling you,
back
there, no good
there. They
church
say
was
they can call out. So for those of you who listen to us, I hope your Sundays is okay. I know it's not an easy thing. We are Liberians. You must fight for yourself. You must stand up for yourself. Does that mean it means that the government will not do it, but it is time that you stand up for yourself. So what is going on there? How's the city, your road coming home? How is the traffic? And was there anything hindering your travel to the station?
well. To that, I would say normally to Sunday today there was no traffic, even though some Sundays, but there has been great work ongoing in the country, specifically in Montserrat, talking about the roads. Um, ever since the government, excuse me, the dry season came, so government has begun construction or road work on the Bushra Island, and so uh, there there has been serious tension between the city police, the Monrovia City Police, and the Liberia National Police, and the marketers in Douala. And so the week before, our cameras went there when the government started, when they resumed work. The machines were demolishing, properties and makeshift structures and pushing people back. Our cameras were able to be the first in fight on the ground, thanks to Maurice Brown, our OB, and so OB director. And so on Friday, there was a serious tension. Now, if you enter St. Paul Bridge, you you see from the you can if I stand as far as LMC Junction and see straight ahead of you to the bridge there, it's clear. The machines went there and it graded the side of the road, all of those structures that were there, and in fact there were some structures, some buildings that were left along the way. So I think they went back and said you need to go behind the high tension line. So the pushback and as we speak now, there's the process is ongoing. They're breaking down those structures that are still under the high tension line. So they had to go back. So they started breaking, and like I said, Friday morning, while on my way to work, and so I was, in Douala. When I got to Douala, I saw tension between the police and the marketers. So I had to stop and say, well, let me know what was happening. Uh, in fact, before I could even get down from the bike, there were stones. The only thing I saw, the first thing I grabbed was stones coming from the marketers towards the police, the city police. So they started throwing stones at the police, resulting to one man, sustaining injury on his head, his forehead, and so they had to banish it. But uh, I could not, get a photo of him because he was already bleeding, and then he was on back. They are already taking him. So when I got there, they were already taking him, but stones were being thrown, and so the police said the police had to call for reinforcement. The Liberian National Police came there, and so the marketers have been agitating that they don't have place to sell. The market building is small, it cannot contain, it cannot withhold all of them. So they always come on the road again to sell. And the government is saying that you have to go back to sell. So it brought serious tension And then I saw the governor of the borough, Governor Rabatier, and he came. Then the marketeers were behind me, singing song. We won't sell, we won't sell. And so it has been all through that, but it's serious. And so one thing we when we put our cameras on, some of them were angry and some of them were happy. Some of the business people were angry, some of them were happy because according to them, that well, it is about the country. So we need to give the government chance. Once this rule is done, we will all have, access to it. And some are saying, but the rule, we ain't get place to say, why you want us to go say, we voted for this government, and why you want to do to us, And so that's the reaction. Those were the reactions coming from there. Some arrests were made, those who were resisting, and then we saw in my presence a scuffle between one gentleman and a certain police officer who resisted arrest. They went to him, and this is some of the things the public out there, the way they say things is not how it happened. Because, and thankfully I was on the scene. This guy, they asked him to leave, and he in fact started to obstruct the process of government function. So arresting him, he resisted. When the police grabbed him, he too put had the police officer, the city police officer, by his trouser, and which was very wrong. And so they apprehended him, cuffed him, and then they took him. So it has been, that way and all through. But the road work is ongoing as we speak. It is going on on the Bushra Island there, specifically Simple from Douala to Simple Bridge.
All right, and I think I saw that video. Welcome, Andrew. Welcome, Jonathan. Jonathan, how are you there? I want to give you an open, just give you like 30 seconds or 1 minute open. So, how's everything? How's your community? How's the family doing today? Sunday? Thanks for coming on.
You're very low, Jonathan. You want to, increase your phone volume?
Increase his voice. Now.
Yeah. You're still low. You're coming, but you're low.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll hear you. We'll hear you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my community is perfect today. The family and I went to church and we came back and we are indoor observing the Sunday as it unfolds. Yeah.
All right, thank you. And Brother Andrew, how are you today? How's everything? I know you just from church. How's the family
Yeah,
doing?
yeah, we're doing okay. We say happy Sunday to our fellow Liberians back home and here in the U.S. Those listening to us as well. We say happy Sunday. It's good to be alive, to be among the living. Um, as usual on the platform, it's all about Liberia. We look forward to a great show today and issues to be discussed. The CEO, I think you saw in the chat room, is not too well, so he will not be with us today. We look forward to having a fruitful discussion with our fellow Liberians online today. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. For those of you who are listening to us, this is the conversation with the vision bearer of the Care Humanitarian Foundation and the Care Communication Network. We come on every Sunday at this time, 7 o'clock in Liberia, 2 o'clock in America. Very soon it might be 6 o'clock in Liberia, and then it will be the same 2 o'clock in America because we can always have our time change. So today we'll have a conversation. We're going to talk about humanitarian work. What are some of the things that the people want us to do, or what we need to do, or we just in this thing for politics? Because some people think that when you're into humanitarian work, you need something from the people. Like the last conversation, people thinking that because you gave me, I should vote for you, and we tell them, say no, that's not a fact. But we have a lot of things to do. How you see that, Brother Andrew? How you see this? Because there are a lot of organizations in Liberia doing work for the Liberian people, and yet some of them feeling discouraged. I met a lady the other day. She said it's just a waste of time to go to Liberia and help because you don't have the support. Even the people that you helping, they're not reciprocating. They're not even showing. Sometimes they will take things from you, and they are dishonest. So she's just going to pull her hand out because Nobody makes money out of these things. So yeah, you see that because people are discouraged. You mute,
You're
unmute
muted.
yourself. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I understand with the frustration a lot of people face in Liberia, especially the business society, the NGOs, and whatever it is. It's about the society has to be, the environment has to be very enabling. You must have you call the issue of safety is very, very, very important. The issue of even trust with people is very, very important as you do your business. And there should be that better, that it should be that, like we said, the enabling environment from the government that that manages the people. Now, when you go to do a piece of job, the sincerity of the people that you work with is something that is also very, very important. And most of these business entities, like the NGOs, they are in there also to meeting government halfway in terms of services to the people. Now, what they do and how to go about with their daily activities, if that support is not there in terms of security, in terms of the processing, in terms of other means of getting things done, it definitely leads to frustration. So we are also another entity in the Liberian society to serving our people, and everything we do in terms of service is also intended to meet government halfway. So everyone would need that flexibility. Would need that work to be done in a way that you don't have any unnecessary obstruction. And when you have that, coupled with even the people that you serve, they also get involved with that. It brings about most frustration. But at the end of the day, it's about the management system that you put into place, for accountability, for people to be able to also effect what you want to have done. Let me leave that now until others can come in. We will still make more input on that. But I agree with the frustration that people are faced with.
Okay. And Jefferson and Jonathan, you in that era, if I ask you, what are some of the problems that you guys go through? For us on the other side, if we have a non-profit, things that government supposed to do and they cannot do it, we do it and they give us tax break and we can go and purchase because we got an EI, we got a non-profit status. Certain things we buy, we don't pay taxes. But I see we pay taxes on everything that we get in there. What are some of the problems? Because I don't know if the government is helping because I'm seriously, I listened to a lady and I will say it again. This woman doing good in Liberia, but she's frustrated on everything, even to take her stuff to Liberia that she's going to help. For the way the government charge you, I just started laughing. I said, well, we're going through the same thing. So what are some of the problems, the challenges that you see that it's terrible that they can push anybody aside? Unmute yourself.
One major problem, like you said, taxes. Government is not helping, most especially not for profit organizations. Government is not helping at all. Let's say, for example, we brought in our transmitter. We pay taxes on it at the port. All of what we have gotten and all of what we have bought, they are not tax free. We pay tax to government. We got all of the necessary documents that accredit us as non-profit organization. But yet then we are still paying to government. Everything that we went out there to buy, we pay taxes on it. I want you another thing is most especially for the NGO side. Now with the perception that most Liberians have, if an individual wants to invest in his country and he decided to come back to his country, the one thing that comes to the mind is, oh, they may want to be a politician. You want to be lawmaker, you want to be senator and stuff like that. So those are some of the challenges we face that if we even went out there to people, they say, oh my man, your boss don't want to be. politician, your parliament, vice president, your parliament, senator. Those are some of the challenges we face on a daily basis. People coming every day with so many requests, so many problems. It's not easy. This country is very, very tough. I got a lot of requests on my desk. Even some part of last week, a girl came, seeing her mother, Jeff, all of us in the office. They had there, her mother and her kid. She's not in school, or 12th grade student. So I told her, I said, you know what you do? Just write a letter and bring it. Then I will send it to the people to see what to do. But right now, things are very difficult all over. All over things are difficult. Most especially from the NGO angle. There are a lot of requests coming too much. Every day, people took in the office with different requests, personal something, group something, stuff like that. It's not easy. The challenge is too much. Yeah,
Well, that is the situation there. And for those of you who are listening to us, we want to help. But this, what we're doing, there's no financial, there's no income. We're not benefiting from it financially. We only want to help, but we are not United Nations. We are not big, like even the big foundation, the big ones, the one that have money, they still cannot solve the problem. And it's not an easy thing because the government is not helping. And sometimes you people got to understand us. You're demanding too much. And I don't blame the people of Liberia
yeah,
because other people came to power through the same NGO. They started as non-profit and then they got into politics. So at the end of the day, everybody is going through hell. That is why I think the government is not, because if your government is not there, they're not going to help you. And like for example, Darius Dillon stuff, they said they couldn't give no money because he's a politician, so he had to use part of his salary and all these things. Is hard. We cannot go through the 73 district. So Liberians, you got to try your best. You got to work with us. We can help you if you're lucky. We help you, but we're not in the business to pay school fees. We can't promise nobody that. Imagine, for let's just say we get about 400,000 Liberians who want to go to school. There is no way I can or we can pay 400,000 Liberian children school fees to go to school. We can help small. That is why we want the government to encourage NGOs, encourage them, subsidize them, give them the work. The government don't need to stretch their hands. That is what the people do in America. That's why they have non-profit status. They 501(c)(3). That if I go and help, because the government cannot help, at the end of the year, I will claim it. I can file in and say, oh yeah, this is what it. Oh, I gave somebody $5 and the person do the income tax and they will do this. But it is frustrating if you're listening to us, and that's why only government officials I see the NGO are operating smoothly. But when they leave office, the NGO is dead. I was watching the county meet and I saw the advertisement of President Joseph Boakai Foundation. From the advertisement of that foundation, I'm telling you, there should be no problem in Liberia. Although they were using an AI voice because on Liberian Foundation and the person speaking different from us, and they're showing all the things they're into agriculture, they're into education, they're into health, water and sanitation. It's so go on KMTV, the advertisement is there. So these they need to do more. And you see, that's why everybody say that maybe Christopher Kia want to run for something because
yeah,
I don't know if anybody heard about the Joseph Walker Foundation. We heard it before when he left office. But today, according to the advertisement, they are the best foundation in the country right now. But let us see who they're serving. Why should you be president and then your foundation? So listen, in the great United States, they almost prosecute Hillary Clinton for that. She was foreign secretary, and because of that, they said that she was using her office to solicit money for the Clinton Foundation. But anyway, that's a later, they will talk on that next time. But that is sad. All our politicians, they all into humanitarian work when they're in office. But when they leave office, they are not. So we want to make it clear, we are not in the business. Yes, I say it personally, I have a political ambition. But what we are doing, we are not doing it because of politics. So whether you vote, if I decide to run tomorrow, you vote for me or you don't vote for me, This is what I love to do, and I will do it. So we're not in it because of politics, because if that because of politics, then we'll have to just wait for 2028 and then we start doing some stuff. So we're not here to make our name. Whatever we can give is what we can give. If God bless you and you come on our radar and we can help you personally, we will help you. But don't stop bringing your letters. Don't stop following us. Don't stop what you're doing. Maybe you don't know when your luck will ever open. You don't know. Maybe something will just grab us and say, listen, we got to help this person. You know what I'm saying? That is why we want you to help us and help yourself. Don't just sit there. Do something. My Liberian people, listen, in your community, if you listen to me, in your community, you can open a study class. You can make some money from there. You can clean around. You can do your small little garden. Just keep yourself. You can't continue to run behind politicians over and over, and everything is politics, politics, politics. All we talk about is politics. Then you will hear the lines opening. When we talk about rights, the line will open. But if we're speaking about Jesus Christ, nobody going to call. If we're saying something that will benefit individual life, nobody going to talk about it. So I hope that everything. But let's go back into and this humanitarian work. Now, people look at you to say, this is Jonathan Mulbert, the executive director for Care Foundation. They expect you to be in a very big car. They expect you to have the money on you every time. They expect that when you come around, they bring all the problems and they expect it to be solved. What are some of the things that they put in when people come to you and ask you, because this is not a secret? Oh, my daughter need to go to school. Oh, I am sick. Now it's in front of you. We're not there. And what are you going to tell them?
Like, well, normally, most cases, when they come like that, they come with those kind of issues, most especially when it comes to uh, child pay school fee. So I dialogue with them. I tell them, I said, I can tell them normally, I say, this place, we are not really making money here. We are not, I want two, we just get started. We're just trying to help purchase government. But we doing we don't get into individual payment of fees. No, like this one time, we have 100 students that we pay their entrance fees that that went for the US entrance, and at least we're lucky that we have at least 15 that did pass the entrance, and currently they are foreign students, all of them currently at the University of Liberia. So we're not into individual something, but however, we are going to look at your case. There are a lot of requests are here. We will see you. Maybe you can tell. Maybe one day the phone will say, "Oh, okay, let's into this woman case." There's a fellow who normally called was a blind guy. He talked before. That fellow almost every day he calls. Every day he calls that we should not forget about him. We should not forget about him. And I always give him the book. I say, don't worry. Keep, let's keep our finger crossed. Anything can happen for you. He said, no, I know myself praying for the foundation too. So we're going to get BB contract. When I get BB contract, you'll be able to help us like a food. I said, yes, that's why we pray to call for everyone else. Let's pray so we can be able to process government. Then the most challenging part of it, almost every one of them will want me to pay their way to go back home. Some will say, I'm a getting full money. Yeah, it's very much challenging, general. It's very much challenging. Yeah. Like you said, people expect me to be big car moving around. No. I normally meditating at the office or waiting for me. I go down from the KK. So I didn't know that she didn't know I was the one. So when she came out of the office, we were, oh, are you the one? Are you the partner? She didn't coming from Keke. I said, but it is wrong. Don't get me, I said, it's wrong for me to rock Keke. He said, but I said, you to be big car. I said, no, mama, we just started here just like that. We just cracked. And she gave her flight that she wants to go to school. She wants to do protection. She wants to go to protection school and stuff like that. So we look at that stuff. At the end of the day, I have to pay her away, give her full money to go home. Yeah, it's not easy.
Okay, that's the fact. That's the whole thing. Huh? Yeah, I'll cut it off. Yeah. Yes. So that is the truth. But anyway, and I just want to make a disclaimer here. I see your ANC guy who I show he follow me, and ANC will be having a slot where they are trying to pay, and that's why we open up to all political parties. And this is a business, and they will rent a time. ANC going to start on the first maybe of February, and they will have another show maybe they will start on in March. So when they have the time, and we'll talk all about the ANC and whatsoever. But this station is not in support of any political party. Yes, but you are free to do business, and the ANC will do business with all radio stations, including this radio station. So I just want to make that clear. And yes, I'm an ANC supporter, but when it comes to business, this station is not owned by ANC, but we all on it. But anyway, Jefferson,
Yeah.
you out there every day with this entire. You took a trip to Lufa County the other day
Mhm.
concerning the presidential projects, and the president said that he's not aware of that project. The press
Mhm.
on ELBC is clear. It's not a hidden thing. It's not a make-up story. He's not aware, and if he knew about it, he was going to stop it. And also, they said $10 million today. He said is what
Six.
$6 million. I think y'all have the tip
$6
here. So
million.
$6 million. So my question here is that you're the journalist. If the president is not aware of $6 million, what else that going on in that country that you think the president is aware of? I know this is not, we're not trying to
That,
beat on them, but
This
these are
is
some of the problems
yeah,
our country is facing. Because if you tell me that in your house you don't know how the bag of rice came in the house, so then imagine how many other things are happening behind closed door that the president is not aware of. We need to be honest to our people, and this is what the president said. And even the surrogate of the president tried to deny the situation. And I see you put this video on, and let's listen to it a little bit.
Basically, this is owned by the government of Nigeria. Contributions will come from other regional partners, like the president said, that they will contribute. Some of them have committed to contributing. There is a circulation around that. Oh, this is built by ECO. I mean, because MRU, the president never said that this is built by MRU. It is named MRU. That doesn't mean it is MRU solely that is constructing. But our partners from other countries definitely are contributing because they will contribute.
That's the project there. You go there, there's nothing there in my name.
So who's building it? So who's building that project? Is it funded by Liberia exclusively?
It's going to be funded under the Mano River. That means Guinea, Sierra Leone, Cote d'Ivoire contribute to it.
But it's on already.
It's on. It's been funded.
Why didn't they tell you about the project?
Why they make it so?
Well, you know me, they know very well I would have resented initially because I don't want anything done there. And so they wanted to make sure.
Okay, the president said it will be. The president said, and then I listened to Philip Brown saying that it was done by the dead man, Grisby. They said dead body can't talk now. Once the man died, he died.
mm,
Grisby is the one that bought the bulletproof car. Grisby is the one that was trying to surprise the president. You see, when all these things happening is dishonesty. That is why even non-profit organization cannot even operate in our country because they're going to push us around, we into sanitation, we digging well, we're doing this for people. It's not the government are doing it. The government is not giving us penny because we want to help. But all these things, when we look at it and telling us, oh, you just come and do this, you just do it. But what the government is doing because we're paying taxes. We spending money, we paying taxes. You over there, you get your salary, they still taking small taxes from you. But yet they gave us information. The Minister of State, President Minister said, could not answer that question. Everybody said no. But the president just made it clear. He said Mana River Union. Even the president still made a mistake. He said Ivory Coast is not part of Mana River Union. He said they will. So they said pay. The government of Liberia. And this is the thing, Jefferson and Jonathan and Andrew. Even if the president want to build it, nobody going to say nothing. So
Yes.
yes, we're
Yes.
building this thing here in Lofa County for this reason. Nobody will argue with the executive. The reason we're building
Simple.
it because it's in a strategic place. It's shorter to go to Maryland and Lofa. It's short and Sierra Leone. It's very short to go to. It's closer to Guinea. So I'm building it. Nobody going to say the president has the power to do that. But when we push it, and all the small tips coming up, and the other advisors swear to God that the president he says so. Then they play the president
Yeah.
message. The president say the Mana River Union will fund a will. So that Sepe, the government already did it because Sepe, the government already paid the money. Then they will collect the money from the other people. So when you that's why the chaos come about. People say, "Oh, you lying." They're supposed to, but even if you do it, say, so what? That's what the problem comes. And there are a lot of people just sitting on the fence in out of Liberia, just looking and say, "Hey, God, are we going to get there?" And Andrew, you saw the tape. You watched the video. I know you're behind the scene.
Uh, this issue about the project in Lofa has been around for a good while now, and the project in question is seen in pictures. I see no reason why we are still creating so much drama around it. When I say we, I mean the government, even the media. This is something that is not hidden. If we want to know and have the Liberian people fully informed, this is not thing that is done in secret. Even if it is done in secret, the stuff is available. We should be able to. The media itself has to be more objective, more investigative, more patient to bring out the details to the Liberian people. I will not think that. I mean, I've heard President Barker on the radio, but I think we are over processing things. I may be wrong. We are over processing things, and the failure on the part of the Ministry of Information to also being able to be very clear on where we are. It leaves the public with a lot of wrong judgments, wrong conclusions, and so the burden of the proof or the clarification is on the government through the Ministry of Information to making things clear. And I would think the government means well. The issue of that particular project and its location, the proximity of it to the Mana River Union countries is something that is very ideal. I mean, that connectivity to what I heard the president in the past have also said, it has to do with, how seclusive it is and the issue of conflict resolution or venue that is so much very ideal, sit in there to have things done. I mean, these are great ideas, but I'm saying the Ministry of Information needs to be more clear to the Liberian people, if possible, into simple English, so that now if the president does the worst, the Liberia does the worst. Do we want to see ourselves in that direction? No. We are saying Ministry of Information, it's never too late. Come out, make things very clear to the Liberian people. The government means well. And if the government doesn't mean well, we're not still. So, I think this is just an unnecessary drama that we are creating around a project. There are a lot of things that the government is doing. The manner in which things are going, it tend to also undermine the government's own intent to be able to do more things for the Liberian people. So the Ministry of Information needs to come out clear be it in a different vernacular, or just very, very clear to the Liberian people, to people to tell them what the project is all about, so that people can lay the the misconceptions that are around. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, and I agree with you on some, but you see, sometimes just one little word, sometimes we use escalate everything. And Philip Brown came up again and said that this project was put together by the late Grisby,
No,
J. Badikin Turner. So
no.
he the one put it together. He the one bought the bulletproof car. He was trying to surprise the president. But how can the minister of state alone sign a contract, and the president is still saying that MRU? And this is where the whole problem came about. It was like a smoke, then the fire. It was $10 million. The minister of information don't know. The press secretary gave different information. The present minister gave different information. The public work minister gave different information before the president broke broke the silence and said it was $6 million, or whether he misspoke. And I think the judge will come and clear the air and just give the information. And at that, like I said, if the president want to bill it, he don't have to hide. Nobody going to stop him from doing it and say, listen, that's a strategic place. But it will continue to be in the news. Other people going to talk about it, but it's the same thing. Lack of information is the one that killing our people, and we don't give the right information out to people. This lady is supposed to join us. You talk to her,
No, but
and yeah. So we expect. I don't know your email address. So guys, that is the situation that going on. And you heard anything? There's something in the news again about the contract. They're trying to decentralize all the ports in Liberia. So people are divided on that again. Some people say, some people say it right, some people say no, somebody behind it. We heard different news. The other group from Basel are so mad. And like a joke, they always joke, they say Basel people love to sell, so we don't know what's going on. This one I just joke. They say they love to sell, and they're selling everything now. So you have any information on that, Andrew?
well, I mean, I am not in Liberia, and I don't have to be in Liberia to get detail. But we tend to also rely on our media team on the ground. The media team will more or less get you and I more updated on these things. Um, and the failure of also, like I say again, the Ministry of Information to representing the image of the government in clarifying most of these things that government is doing will tend to always bring about misinterpretation. Now, the Ministry of Information should be ahead of the game. And my very good friend and brother, the Information Minister, I mean, he's very good at that, and I would think that they should, with most of these rumors and headlines that tend to fly here and there to misrepresent the government, they should be able to clarify things to the Liberian people. The issue of port decentralization is not something that should be anything new. First of all, we are far behind time as a country when it
Yeah,
comes to port decentralization, and the issue of even decentralization itself as an agenda. This is something. It has been a reform agenda started way back in Madam Salif time, and so this is not something Liberia should be ashamed. I mean, these are great, developments that once the government is making those efforts, the Ministry of Information should be able to explain to the Liberian people on every project that the government is taking on, so that people don't have those misinterpretations about things here and there. Our society is very gullible with falsehood, very, very gullible. And so the Ministry of Information should be ahead of the curve to clarifying to the Liberian people where the government is, where it is going in terms of its own developmental agenda. Anything short of that, people will tend to misinterpret things. Thank you.
Okay, Jefferson, you people got journalists at the building there. What about this whole bill that was passed in for the president to sign? The president vetoed it first in January in last year or July, and then it's back on his decks. What's going on, Jefferson?
Okay, so before I answer that, just want to let us all know that there is the CEO of Extended Hands will want to join the conversation this afternoon. This evening he's there in the US, and so I've just sent him the link. He's also a humanitarian, so he wants to join the conversation. So shortly he will be joining us.
You say who?
Okay, what his name? What
Morrison,
his name?
Morrison Dassin,
Morrison
Morrison
Darcy.
Jr. Yes,
Okay,
he's the CEO of and the founder of Extended Hands Liberia.
okay.
Yeah, and so to the decentralization of the port, we've had this conversation on it, and then in fact we had a whole talk on it. So the first thing, let's establish that our ports are being decentralized because we have uh, the National Port Authority, we have the Port of Buchanan, the Port of Sino or Greenville, the Port of Hapo, and so the modernization of it is key. So this whole thing, it seems as though some lawmakers are in rush in pushing this port issue. So we have the National Port Authority. Remember then, during the regime of former President Salif, uh, Senator Snow, Erin Snow of Bon County, till now, he still regrets this, that they had to sign a contract with APN Terminus that today, some of the things that APN Terminus said they would have done for the country, they're not doing it. APN Terminus decides to do on what they want to do for the country, whenever, how they want to do it. And so the Buchanan Port is something similar. Now, who are those that are pushing this? One person is the pro tem Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence and Montserrat County Senator Darius Dillon. So they're pushing this so that Buchanan Port could be an autonomous port. It can be a port that will stand on her own and what have you in terms of revenue generation. But is it a bad thing that we have a decentralization of the port? No, it is not a bad thing. But is it now? Is it timely? Well, that is a question that remains hanging that people would need to answer. And our investigation, independent, the care rating investigation has gathered that there's this uh, French billionaire by the name of Vincent Bolloré. You remember a company that was here in Liberia? They used to have their offices at in Vittown, there, at Claratown, where Fanny Brothers is now. They call
Yeah.
Bolloré Logistics. Now, so Vincent Bolloré is the owner of but they've changed their name now to Africa Global Logistics. So the investigation has gathered that, well, this French billionaire is pumping in money to the legislators so that he could buy the port of Buchanan. Because in that, and this is what we've also been told, that he goes around Africa, the local top politicians, influential politicians in the country. Well, let's use this person or let's use these people so that we can get access to this. So he's pumping in money allegedly to Senator Yombly Kanga Lawrence and Dillon so that he can have access to the port of Buchanan, same as APN Terminus is doing. And so that is the whole thing. But when it was sent, the bill was sent to the president to veto it. He looked at it, he said, well, certain things are in this, you need to go and correct. This is not right, do it like this. Remember, LRA was under the Ministry of Finance, but then the legislator succeeded in taking LRA and making it to stay on her own, which went very well. But now the Sea Act, the legislators are not looking at that. What they're doing is they put aside, they get a kickback to maritime, they get a kickback to other institutions, making sure that they as lawmakers will just usurp the function of the executive. They want to be in charge and do it. And it's two people, Senator Yombi Kanga Lawrence and Senator Darius DeLong, are the ones who are pushing this, making sure that it stands. That's the what that is what our investigation has have gathered, and we are still investigating. In fact, our sources have told us now that the Senator Lawrence or Protem Kanga Lawrence has an eye on the presidency. So once she takes charge of the port, wants to be the one who can make wants to be a kingmaker in Grand Bassa to decide the fate of Grand Bassa. So that is the whole thing. So the question is, why the rush for the port of Buchanan, to be decentralized when facilities, in fact, the facilities are not up to standard. They are not up. Go visit the port. Go to Sino. Go to Maryland. See how the ports are over there. See the conditions of the ports, and that's what the two senators are pushing for.
Okay, we'll get back to that. And Darius Morrison, you can hear us? You think you can sit somewhere?
Yeah, yes, I'm getting you guys. I'm 2 blocks away from my work, so
Okay.
I just joined the live. I want to give my little contribution when it comes to a non-profit organization aspect
Okay, I
because
saw your comments. I saw your comments there. So just say what are some of the frustration that you went through that operating in Liberia?
uh firstly let me say good afternoon from my end. Uh, uh Good afternoon to the senior brothers in studio and my own personal friend and brother Jeff Weir. Thank you so much for everything you're doing for the people of Liberia. Again, my name is Morrison Dawson Jr., Chairman of the Student Against Liberia. Sorry for my voice, kind of a cool year I'm working. So, what I want to say is this. You scratch on some key issues when it comes to non-profit organization operating in Liberia, like the
Yeah.
care communication, some of the challenges you guys face. So, I joined the live, and then it just catches my attention on similar things that my team and I are going through. When it comes to non-profit organization operating in Liberia, it's somehow challenging to be honest, but people don't know. Like I overheard you saying there are a lot of letters on your desk, people asking for school fees and other stuff. Similar things we're going through. Like for my own organization,
You
Morris,
lost. Okay.
I established 2024 November when I got here. A reason I got here October and then November with the passion I have worked in other non-profit organizations when I was back home. But I feel like I wanted it to be part of me getting in the land of opportunity and everything I went to back home, striving for people that can afford, and I have the opportunity. So I said, but then let me just start the process right away. So can move on. Currently, as I speak to you for 2024 up to present, there have been huge things we've done in Liberia through my organization. The records are there. You can check you can check our page and other things. But like you say, I see your brother, the government is not supportive, to be honest. Yeah, there are a lot of people out here trying their best for their country. Some of us having our country, we have our country at heart. Like we see the kind of a living condition people go through every day. Children out of school doing school hours, they are not in school. It's so frustrating for some of us. I can speak to you right now. I have almost 8 students on my scholarships. Kids at the age of let's say 5 to 10 years. Reason the team went out, asked questions. Why is student in school? Parents say, oh, no money, nothing. So based on that, we took these children, we put them in school. And today they have been opportunity to learn. I'm taking full responsibility of it with my team. How are we getting it from? Through the hard work some of us do here. I get my team player who is the coach here to make Christy Bowl in North Dakota. We hang here together along with our team. They do the team collect back home. With the kind of a hardship in our country, there are still young people out there who's striving and here to give back to society. But the government is not looking in that way. People, my team back home, you pay me, we put together. That's how we accumulate funds to help these children. But the reason I joined this life is to arm a voice to you. To call on the government, they need to do something. You wanna believe that we will send letter to some of these government officials and they will turn it down because they feel that it's not important to them. And these things are frustrating. You can see people with no political ambition fighting how to post smart on the underprivileged people faces. Then at the end, you guys are in the position, don't want to motivate them, don't want to contribute a dime to them. It's kind of a frustrating for some of us. So, like I said, the reason I joined the call is to arm a voice to you. Like you said, we need to call the government to see how best they can find reason. Now, some of us here, if we try to do the same things to support our organization, the put aspect, the tariff on things to free continue and all that stuff, it'll be kind of a hard. These are things the government need to look into, give some opportunity or privilege to honor privileged organization, non-profit organization that they will be able to operate through their workforce. Yeah. So I bet
Yeah,
they will.
that's thank you very much, Darcy. I understand. That is the frustrating part of it. You're taking things to Liberia to give out free, and then you have to pay. We ourselves we had a workshop where we invited government officials to come and be some of the lecturer. They're telling us we got to pay them to come and talk to speak on sanitation. We must give them $100 each and all these kind of things. It's frustrating. To jet free one van, almost 13%, you have to pay on the total. So it's frustrating. So I don't know. I
Yeah,
give my hats off
yeah,
to people who doing these things,
yeah.
and a lot of
And we
librarians want to be part of it.
yeah, a lot of Liberia want to be part of it, but the frustrating part of it, the government is not supportive. Like you said, the president have his own personal foundation. So where the contribution the president gave to the opportunity the president foundation gave to other non-profit organizations to operate? There are a lot of non-profit organizations with different operation scope that they can do. People just sit in Monrovia or Monserrate, they see that Monserrate is like, if you go in a rural area, you see how people suffering, you are working to tears. But they are not looking that way. You go to Vera Ministry, they having a personal organization, they push things for themselves, forgetting about other people that are running a non-profit organization. As for me, I'm not running non-profit organization for profit. I'm doing it because I feel that's my calling, and I decided to give back to my country. So we actually need to put some pressure on the government to look into it and see how best they can support non-profit organizations to strengthen their workforce, to make sure that they can reach out to other people, not only in Monserrate. So thank you guys so much for affording me the time to join this conversation.
Thank you very
Thank
much, Tech, and we
thank
Thank
you.
appreciate
you,
you.
man.
Thank you.
I
And
appreciate
I
it.
know you're going now, but
Yeah, I just wanted
maybe
to say something.
if you can just wait, Andrew want to say something quick so you
All right,
can
all right,
listen.
no problem, no problem, no problem.
Go,
Well,
Andrew.
I just want to say thank you to you, Dancing. I know there will be, I mean, we are here every Sunday. We can still continue these concerns to be discussed further. I want to thank you as one of those Liberians who have your country ahead, and to be able to give back to your people is very challenging. And all of these things that we are doing, the platform is also another medium to lift these concerns. The government we have today, and hope to have another more approachable government. I will want to say that we should not give up. As institutions that are there to meet government halfway. I am hoping that also the government will be listening in, that all of these concerns can be lifted, even if it is through the association of NGO in Liberia, to be represented by one party that will engage government on most of these concerns. These are interventions that the institutions are making, private institutions, and that will also be of help to government. So these concerns will not be taken lightly. We will continue to live them through other media institutions. It's not only you alone. There are a lot of people that have, had these concerns. Even ourselves, who are also into the business, or who are also into the interventional means of helping Liberia. So I just want to commend you and commend others who are in the business of helping our own people. We will live the situation. We will continue to live the call to the government of Liberia, so that we can work as partner in progress, and be able to help the same Liberian people that the government itself is in the power to help with. So this is a concern that I think we all need to take this not lightly at all and be able to raise the issue. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And you
Thank
you
you.
heard that it's true. You can come on here and we're all doing the same work in different areas. And once we can help you, we can help you send a message. We can talk together, and then we can be able to hold the government feet to the fire to make sure that maybe
Yeah.
who knows they might listen to us, and then things will change. So I want to say thank
Yes.
you very much, my man. Go and do your work. But anytime you want to come on, just let us know, and we're on every Sunday by this time, and then we can be part of every other conversation. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate
Okay.
that. So I'll keep following the show every Sunday,
Okay. So
and
you
I
can
will try
share
to
it
come
too. Yeah.
in. I'll try to come in and give my input as well, share it so that this
Yeah.
message can reach out there. Yeah, our
Okay.
government need to do something. All
All
right.
right.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Uh,
Well,
okay. And I think Reverend Cummings trying to come in so that way. You know, Andrew Jefferson will explain, but not something caught my mind. Can any individual sell a port of Buchanan easily to sell
hmm.
that port to somebody, or maybe they want to? Yes, we need people to come in to fix the port. They made a mistake with the LPM terminal. They signed a bogus contract that today LPM terminal has a right to increase and every year they want to. But so
Yeah.
that should be a
See,
lesson for us. And then if somebody want to take the port to run it and make the port great, because I think they said the port raised $11 million either last year or so, but they're not getting anything. The port of Monrovia, Freeport is the one that control the port of Buchanan. I think they control the port of Buchanan whatsoever. Now it's
yeah.
not an
Yeah.
easy thing because the next port is the port of Buchanan. And so this thing here is looking too strong, the president. But let me ask Andrew, you been in government and maybe I might be right or wrong. Don't you think if we want to decentralize the port and want every port to operate separately, it should come from the executive plan everything and send it to the House and they see if they can pass it into law. But this thing came directly from the pro tem to the House, and the House is like telling the executive, say, this is what we want you to do. Because you forget about maritime, you forget about all these other people, they might play a role in all these things, how the executive supposed to run. But this thing came straight from the Senate. How it's supposed to work, I don't know if they change it or the legislature can just come up and say, listen, this is what we want you to do.
Well, the first thing I want to clarify is that you have the three branches of government.
Yeah.
Well, you have the legislature, you have the judiciary, and of course, you have the executive aspect that is being headed by the president. The president is the overarching leader of the entire country. But those three separate branches of government, they work in that direction. Now, to answer bluntly your question of whether someone can just sell, no, it doesn't work that way. Now, to have Yambli Kanga, the president pro tem, or Darius Dillon, or all of these key citizens from the county of Buchanan, I mean, it's not something strange to see their names being plucked out as to whatever role they are playing. Now, it is because they represent the people of Bassett, or these are key citizens of the country as to why they, it's not strange to see their names being mentioned. But it's about the role that they are playing. The role that they are playing, if it is not part of their term of reference, definitely the president has to step in. When it comes to the Port of Buchanan, these are all services that are under the executive and the president. If anyone is doing anything crazy outside their scope or their term of reference, they are in the legislature. So if anything of such is happening, I don't want to believe that still. I know I saw the podcast from Henry Costa. These are very, the issues that he raised, they are very, very concerning. So the president, at the end of the day, should be able to step in if there's any ulterior motive for some of the Bassa citizens that are trying to play with the function of the port or the what's supposed to be of the port of Buchanan. So I would think all of this unnecessary drama that we are hearing, the president needs to get involved quickly as possible to conduct an investigation in this whole thing, to put this whole whatever saga that is going on to a close.
Yeah. So before we go forward, I just want
Okay.
to. Okay.
Obed,
Just, what? I have
go ahead.
1
What you
minute.
say?
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
just want to make this announcement at a slip off. You remember veteran journalist Frank Lobo
I was
that
going
went
to
to.
ask you the question about that, so go ahead.
Yeah, it just off. So I just want to make this clear that we uh, woke up to the sad news of his demise this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yes, he was already in India. He and his wife. So,
Yeah,
but
for
then
some reason, I wanted to ask you not too long, but then I saw or noticed concerning his health again, and
yeah,
he finally, oh,
yeah, yes.
I wrote it in the chat room this morning that he
yeah,
passed
I
away.
didn't see it. Well, we want to extend our sympathy to the family. It's not an easy thing. A new logo from Todd Mahal, and it's hard. Ooh, yeah,
Let's welcome Obed
and
Jiba, station
okay,
manager.
welcome, Obed. And Mr. Jiba, Obed Jiba, we had a conversation the other day. But anyway, the people say you won the award, the best investigative journalist in Liberia. That means you
And what
can
you
go
see?
on a cover, you can go on a cover, you can go on. So how do people get that award, my brother? So what's some of the things, man? When you sad, you quiet like that, you can investigate, my man. Tell the Liberian people what you can do.
Thank you
All
so much.
the
And let
beauty
me say,
journalists, all the old guys, they look at you, they say, congratulations, you won it.
okay, so let me say thanks to the entire team. It's been some time.
Obed,
To Mr. Andrew Kier, Happy New Year.
I think it is. Yeah,
The
the
man
network.
internet coming from Kaswa. Don't worry.
You want to leave and come back, Obed. I think
The
you.
man internet is from Kaswa. And you know
Yeah.
you want internet from Kaswa. Yeah. But anyway, that I try to get Senator DeLong. You know, sometimes we lucky they call us, sometimes they will not call. But it is a serious thing that we need to. And some people are calling on the president not to sign. Some people say the president should sign. We all want it to be decentralized. We want all these things to happen. But I think the contract at the port of Monrovia with LPM terminal should be a lesson and learn, and they should be able to straighten up the stuff. But I'm just a little surprised because Henry Costa released a lot of information. But you know, sometimes when you are not, when people get fed up with you, and when you say snake coming or snake coming, they say the boy just joking. So that is the problem because for Costa to go against Yombly and DeLon to say this kind of thing, Andrew, what do you think? It's alarming. You know, these are close. These are friends, and we need to start playing with Liberian people. And you start playing with the people from Buchanan. You start playing with the people back here. And it's not a port. I don't think he's going to buy the port. Maybe he want to lease the port, and then he will release the port again. So all these things, you just look into it. But we might end up getting the thing. I hope the former minister, the former superintendent was on the show so we can ask her some questions. And Brother Andrew, you think you can get her?
Well, I mean, if we had gotten in touch with her earlier, that would be
Yeah, she
fine.
myself, we spoke yesterday. On the day before yesterday, she said she want to be on the show. But
Yeah,
I know I
but
don't have her email address. I was checking her up on Facebook. And then, oh, okay, we got is this Rory Cummings? How you look different, so my man?
Yeah, very.
Wow, the man in red. Oh.
so like I was saying, the issue of the port of Buchanan, we got yet to get the details, but at the end of the day, it speaks to national leadership. It speaks to national leadership. The port of Buchanan is not just, I mean, and all other ports for that matter, you know, it's something, it's a major key, how you call, key entity of government that if anything of such is happening, that the president should be fully aware of that. It is under his jurisdiction as the president of the country, and now with anybody just getting up to do what they want to do.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about it also is that the players that they are talking about, the president pro tem, the Darius Dillon and the rest, these are folks who are in the other branch of government. So if anything that concerns, the executive branch, you just don't come and flex muscle any way you feel it when it is not within your term of reference. So that's what I said. It's a leadership issue. To the president of the Republic of Liberia needs to see this as a dint under his leadership. It must be handled. If there's any foul play, investigation has to be conducted, to handle such. And going forward, those are things that, that should not in any way happen for that matter. It should not happen in that direction. Until you can know the structure of the country in terms of leadership, nobody should ever jump the gun to doing things that they got no business doing. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, you're right. And I listened to somebody saying that this is the second time they're taking it to the president, and the House and the Senate have passed it. So even if the president veto it, this time the House will come together, the legislature will come together and veto the president's stuff. So I don't know what's the importance about it, but I believe that it's also come from the executive. And let's hear from Jiba. Jiba, are you there? Your internet is okay? Or before?
I think I had some issues with the network, but it has been resolved. Hope you are getting me. Good evening to all.
Okay.
From and Happy New Year to Mr. Kier. Happy New Year to you, Mr. Kishen, and the Reverend, as well as the hardworking executive director and the radio director of Kier. I'd like to say it's good to be here. There was a question before the interference that why I was selected. I think the partner
because Jerome was not in the country that you wanted. I mean, you don't understand. You want Jerome Cummings, Reverend Cummings was not in Liberia. That's why you won that thing. So go ahead.
Even if Reverend Cummings were here, I was still going to win it. But the fact is that you have respectable journalists with integrity who they're concerned about media development that were part of the panel vetting journalists, not just because of 2025, but 2 years back, the kind of work and energy we put up in the Liberian media to unearth lots of issues in our country, to bring relief to a lot of sectors who were some of those very journalists who were the first to have done a whole lot in terms of releasing leaked audios, in terms of going as close as within the proximity of the presidency to talk about serious issue of corruption with the funds coming in for real estate. We'll talk about the National Port Authority at a point in time when one of the port directors, not directors, but the director for security, slapped a lady who went in for, say, pay money, and then they tried to cover it up. We brought that to book. We also investigated ills in terms of the governmental cycle. So it's a whole lot. We exposed Serena Seaforth when he had that particular confrontation with Ellen Kirkham. That led to a serious conversation with my previous boss. And then Serena Seaforth had complained against me on several occasions about how we started bringing out some of the very things he was doing then as the Solicitor General as well. Group of business people into a cartel in the country, Indians and Lebanese, using Liberia as a transit point. We also were able to dig out those ills in our country. And then today, well, we at least have been recognized by a group of our own senior veteran colleagues for the job that we've been doing over the time. So we're glad and we hope to do more. That was just a motivation. I'm not the very best, but at least amongst the best that was also recognized on that particular day. So well, I'm grateful, but there have been a whole lot to weigh in on. I'm told I will be leaving at 9, but like Mr. K was saying, I would just want to give a detailed explanation relative to the decentralization of the port, according to the legislature, the first and most powerful branch of government. We also believe that there is a whole missteps and bad precedents that the government, through the legislature, the people's direct representative, they are setting. And if we are not careful as a country, it's going to take us way, way back. To repair such a damage in the future is going to take Liberia a whole lot to do. Should we decentralize our ports? Yes, it sounds good. It is wonderful to decentralize the port because it brings in economic viability to a particular region. Take, for example, if Sino port is decentralized, it means that they are autonomous, they have their own budget, they employ their own people, and then they raise their own funds for the traffic of vessels that will be going over their business transaction will go on. There will be increasement in the population, and people will live and things will happen there. Then they will give royalty now to the central government, and then they will pay. It sounds good to decentralize the port. But how is this decentralization process going in our own country, Liberia? It is not globally recognized as how other countries have been able to decentralize their port system, giving autonomy to sub-ports in different regions and areas. Ours here is more like an interest-based decentralization. They're trying to carry on fragmentization of the ports. Instead of them decentralizing the port, they're putting their own interests to create problems for the country. And when I say problem, what do I mean? You got a few group of lawmakers, to include the pro tem Yombli Kanga Lawrence, heavily backed by her ally Dara Zilong, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Richard Namwekun, and the likes of other lawmakers, to include the presidential political advisor, Magdalena Cooper, who is a spouse to Richard Kun. Now, these people have come together to put an interest first. This is what we have gathered from our thing. I will put that, maybe I will put what we have gathered later on for the end of my conversation, and we look at the nitty-gritty of what they said they would do. If you read a document that talk about decentralization of our port system, it may appear good, but how the process is going on is not good. You cannot carry on a major reform in the executive without the executive. I hope that is understandable, because if you want to decentralize the port, I thought the legislature would have, first of all, established a committee with the National Port Authority and members of the executive to ensure that this thing is jointly done together so that you can have a fruitful and wonderful result. But on the contrary, fellow Liberians, those of you who are listening, our lawmakers have grabbed onto themselves and put this document together. The history of this is that in 2024, they went to Grand Bassa County for a retreat, the senators. They were invited at Buchanan Port by the National Port Authority boss, Sekou Dukle, to come and see the port facility. Following that, they wrote a piece of legislation and decided to act upon it. Now, but there has been something that has been done to create a problem contrary to what is the real essence of the decentralization of the port. As part of President Bouakar's arrest agenda, you have decentralization of the port as his legacy project also. So the reason why the president vetoed the bill before is because in his wisdom from the executive, he wants to decentralize the port, but to do it in compliance with international standards. But this is what has happened. Yombli Kanga Lawrence, Dara Zilong, and the likes of Magdalena Cooper and others, they've been talking to a French national called Vincent Bolloré. He is a billionaire worth $9.9 billion the last time I checked. That's his net worth, with several kids, 4 or 3 kids the last time I checked. He's around 71 years old. Now, this man is a bad businessman. He has Bolloree Logistics. They have not changed the name to African Logistics Company or Africa Global Logistics. That is the name, to be specific. I stand to be corrected on that. African Global Logistics. Now, Vincent Bolloree, what he does is he comes to West Africa, partner with politicians, give them elections through financial support, influential politicians, and then they turn over the post system to him. So what Bolloree is doing now, he's working with Yombli Kanga Lawrence and Delo and others to make sure that they are supported, and at the end of the day, when they succeed in making the so-called decentralization of the port successful, then they're going to give it out as a concession. Grand Bassa Port, Buchanan Port, will be concession to Africa Global Logistics. The same mistake Edwin Snowden made before, that today we are suffering as a country with the APN terminal and the National Port Authority, that people have to do transshipment to Guinea. It's the same kind of thing Dara Delon, Yombli Kanga Lawrence, and others are trying to do in Bassa. She wants to claim political authority in Grand Bassa County, and for 2029, these people are acting clever and playing games with the Liberian people, but pushing us to make us a PLA. We're doing it for the sake of the country. Yobi wants to be strong 2029. Delon wants to be strong 2029. They are losing it out in Grand Bassa County. So they're lobbying internationally and to the Liberian people like they're working in the interest of us. You do not do decentralization in a hasty move. So the first question is, why is Yombli Kanga Lawrence doing this hastily? Why are they fast moving this thing more than 5G, more than 6G, to ensure that they decentralize the port by all costs and by all means at a particular point in time when it should be a long period of this decentralization that will involve the ordinary citizens' participation, that will involve individual lawmakers, that will also involve line ministries and agencies, state-owned enterprises, and the justice system of our country, because it has to do with the future of Liberia. But they are in rush because Vincent Bolloree has been financing this entire thing of so-called decentralization, so Africa Global Logistics can take over Buchanan Port. It is not about Sano. Let's not get it wrong. And I say this without fear or favor. It is not about Sano Port. It is not about Maryland Port and any other port inland in our country. It is about Buchanan Port that this entire decentralization is coming up, and Yombli Kanga Lawrence is so comfortable to gamble the interest of our country just because they want to be good in 2029. That's why the president vetoed the first time and said, "You'll go and do other things." When the president vetoed that particular document, they did not change what the president asked them to do. Because if you decentralize the port, you are usurping the function of Maritime. Maritime ceases not to exist. Their law, what they're offering, it says that they're going to cancel the authority of the national port, and they will have 9 members now as a board. Are we prepared for that as a small country now to have 9 members as a board to sit every time and regulate the activities of the port? Now, the National Port Authority is also different from the Free Port of Monrovia. I know someone will ask me why. The National Port Authority is the regulatory arm of all ports across the country that regulates the activities of the ports in our country. So the new law with Yombli saying you want to cancel that entire process and have 9 members now as a new board of regulators that will now regulate the entire port in the name of a so-called decentralization.
Okay, let hold the that 9 people will only be for the port of Buchanan, or for all the ports in Liberia?
They're going to be now the regulatory board
for all the ports
of the entire port across the country. But
okay.
All the ports in the country.
Let me say this with the Justice Minister. It's an interesting piece. The Justice Minister wrote an opinion on what they are doing and advised that what they are doing, it is not up to the standard of other countries around the world.
Okay.
That what they are doing will have security implications. That they're just jumping and just doing things that is incorrect, but because they want to do this, so they go about doing it. So the opinion of the Justice Minister has also been not listened to, even though the president also vetoed, and they still continue and they hurriedly pass these things. Just to me, there is something sinister behind the so-called decentralization bill to ensure that these ports get autonomy from the way Yombly and Delon and others are proceeding with it. They took Bedera Cooper and some family members of Yombly Kanga Lauren out of the country. Why would you take your family members out of the country to go and see an institution that wants to come and invest, or you want to concession the port to when they are non-government officials? I thought they should be members of the executive and members of the current port board, making sure that they go on government functionaries. Why is nobody taking our family members there? It speaks volume. These are things that are raising up more eyebrows on this so-called decentralization by the Unity Party government rescuers. And these are the people who are the frontliners of the rescue mission. These are the same very people doing the same old thing in our country, and they definitely want to make it appear that they're going to have different results. So, in my
we
mind,
still
what
we still we still have to talk on this issue because it's very important. You detail it like your family going to represent the country. These are things that have been happening long time, Jiba. But I think
yeah.
it is time we got to talk. Let's give Reverend Cummings a little time, and we'll come back to that same topic where you stop at. And Reverend, how are you? And then we'll open the lines for 10 minutes, and then we'll come back again. How are you, Reverend? How was the service today?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah,
And you?
yeah. Well, thank God I'm still, you see me, I translate all diplomat here, it's not easy. And I say I can't in church. But anyway, what your take on this whole, I know you came in late on this whole Buchanan issue. You and I talked about it the other day along with Andrew. And what's information you got?
Frank, Frankly, let me say good afternoon, good evening to you all, and to the listeners and viewers of Kia Radio. You know, for me, this is not a strange thing. For many young journalists, it's a strange thing. And the only thing I can encourage them to do is that don't pick up the story today, drop the story tomorrow morning. Let it be a continual investigative process. Keep informing the Liberian people, no matter whether your job is on the line or your integrity is on the line or somebody want to give you something. Keep the story active because that's one thing I noticed of lately as it relates to the media. We bring these sensitive stories out and then we leave the story and then we pick up another story. Then the newsmakers who are attached to that story will go somewhere and put a paper to bear or give journalists money or their propagandists to people to do some propaganda work to kill the story. The first thing I noticed is that there was no public hearing. Who were the experts who were part of this public hearing to kind of guide our legislators or the government through the process? You know, I don't know if the news director is at work or the Liberian people listening carefully. I'm going to say something a Constitute News. When I heard the name Yombli Kanga and looking at the nature of the deed, and then going back to Darius DeLong when he was in the office of former Speaker Snow, it speaks volume for me. And that's what I said. Well, Costa was not just speaking because he is a nephew, quote unquote, to President Boakai. He's also speaking for somebody else too. He was also speaking because he's also working for somebody who has interest in something. And I'll give you one typical example why it's not strange. The first example has to do with Edwin Mervyn Snow with the issue of Taiwan. DeLong was part of that cliche. And to see DeLong now in cahoot with the pro tem, it's not a strange thing. Yombly been operating at that long time. That's Yombly's style of operation. Only thing most people don't know. Okay? There was a situation at LPRC. An investigation was conducted by a former FBI agent contacted by Harry Green to do an, a complete investigation on Snow and others, including the only person that was excluded from that investigation, that's Joe Emmanuel Pena. But the rest of the guys were in there in that investigation. Mr. Kishan, I was the only person, the only journalist at the time with Harry that had exclusive access to that document. The reason why he gave that document was to be able to convince Snow to sit down with me and do an exclusive. And I met Snow. Snow and myself, Joe Pennon, and a few other persons were on the football field. He said, let's go to my house. I want to see the document. I want to peruse the document. He did. But who gave Snow the document? It was Yombli Kanga. The only three persons that had access to the document was Harry Gree, myself, and Yombli Kanga. Who gave Snow the document? It was Yombli Kanga. So Yombli is good for shady deeds. Like Jiba said, Yombli was not doing it for the Grand Bassa people. They learn trying to pump Yombli up, that they think they can make themselves more presidential for 2029. But that game cannot be played only by Yombli. It's also being played by people in the legislature, the legislative branch, and the government as well. And in the Unity Party, they cannot, there's no way, from what I gather, there's no way they can tell me they are not in the know. Liberians need to wake up to all these games. Liberians need to be more proactive, to engage the legislatures, to engage the government. The executive cannot be holding her foot back now and say, we are not in the know of certain things. No, they are in the know. People within the entourage of the president are in the know. So Yombli and DeLong being the name that is ringing bell for me, it is not a strange thing. This is how these guys been mortgaging our country over the years.
Okay. General?
Yeah. And Andrew, I thought you're coming in. Okay, let's go back to Ober. Ober, you brought something interesting here. So now it's on the president deck. Some people are saying that if the president veto it, the House and the Senate will go back and combine themselves and pass it because they did it before. So this time the
Yes.
president will not veto it.
Yes. So after the first veto, according to the law, it takes additional 21 days for the legislature to again make adjustment and re-send it to the office or offices of the president. If the president again veto it, then you have a quorum, your joint
Yeah.
legislative body, which is the upper and the lower house, they will meet and pass it. That's why the legislature is the most powerful branch of government.
Yeah.
They will pass it even after the president's veto it as well. So what we are saying is that this shouldn't happen. We're trying to let the Liberian people know that if we make this mistake again today as a country, Liberia will have to bear the consequences in years to come. But the fact that the opinion of the justice minister say they are setting a bad precedent, it means that this has all sorts of implications, security implications, and it has a whole lot about this. We saw how the LRA and the Ministry of Finance got separated. It wasn't
Yeah.
done in a manner and form in which Jubilee and others are proceeding today. We saw how the other institutions in our country through that reform system, they work in line with that particular sector of government to ensure. Why is it that Yombli and Delon and the legislature and members of the legislature, they have decided to isolate the
The executive.
institution responsible for this, and they are passing this law? It means there is something. It means there is something deeper in terms of their interest. That's why they decided to ignore what is on the book. They decided to ignore what should happen instead of doing the right thing. And I agree with Reverend Cummings. Yombli has also been noted for clandestine activities. Yes, I agree with you 100%. So as to DeLong, DeLong has been named several ways in the country. The man lied about everything. Remember, he lied and said he's a liar, but at the end of the day, he apologized to the Liberian people not once, not
Yeah.
twice,
Yeah.
for attitudes conducted publicly. So it only signifies that these people, they're playing with you and our interests, we the ordinary people in the country. They just want to put what will make them good up to 2029 and then say to hell with the Liberian people. So
Yeah.
our
Because
job there is to
yeah.
ensure that we tell the Liberian people this is what the people who you depend on, you solely rely on and trust. These are the people creating problems for us in the country. And it is something like you said, Remy, we will continue these conversations, especially on Kia Radio. That's why tomorrow morning we're going to have some experts joining
Yeah, we're
us
gonna get deep. We
to
gotta
talk
go
about
deep
it.
into. You
Yeah,
gotta go deep into it.
because
Yeah, I
Jiba,
gotta
one
go
one
deep.
thing I noticed from the whole discourse is that no expert was invited to
Yeah.
advise the government in the process to
Yeah.
have a public hearing on these things. And so these guys always play smart game. If Liberians should say we must protest or we must hold our legislators' feet to the fire, this is the time you start to do it, or else the guys will mortgage the country for themselves. They
Yes.
can't tell me say it's not it does not have a monitoring game for them. They do. They have something at stake here, and it is only going to be beneficial to them, not their constituents. So their constituents or people from their constituency need to hold them. The people of Monserrato County do not see that they are dealing with a call. A senator who represented them to be the light has always been in Chevy for a long time, very long time.
Look,
Yeah. And so if
no,
President Bwaka is not careful
thank,
with this, if the
Jiba just
rescue government is not careful with this will place a dent on the
yeah.
character and legacy of President Bwaka. Let me give a precedent or a history about public hearing, like you said, Reverend Cummings. When the late Adolph Lawrence was chair of the Hydrocarbon Committee, the legislature at the point in time wanted to do the NOCA Act of 2014. What did they do? They had a meeting in Bensonville, which I covered the legislature at the time, and they had public hearing. John Colley was the one who was moderating that forum. You had Liberians, the ordinary people, chiefs and elders gathered in Bensonville in the town hall, in the city hall, to make the decision and ask the expert about the two laws, the local out of 2014, when they were ratifying and talking about oil blocks across the country. The legislature, that particular committee was on top of it. You have members of the executive, and you had the ordinary Liberians. Why aren't they having a public hearing, bringing the expert and allowing the ordinary Liberians to ask questions about this whole decentralization? They just want to carry on a horror issue because they are working with Bollery, Vincent Bollery, because they are working with Africa Global Logistics and they are throwing monies around. Serious money going around, and it is Yombly who is the one dishing out to fellow lawmakers and making things happen to benefit them today and so that they can get their percentage for 2029. They look good politically, financially, while there is election period. Same thing they did with the GTMS. Today you have transshipment. Most of these government officials got 2%, 1% share. So today the GTMS they spoke against the previous administration during George Weah time that even the Unity Party people were protesting. Today they cannot say a thing, but we are still tracking cargoes, something that you can do on your cell phone. Liberians are still paying. Just 2 or 3 days ago, they were protesting the port. People had to block the entry of the port with yellow machines. They have increased the price of tracking at GTMS for yellow machine up to 10,000 United States dollars that you have to pay. We all have that document. And some of the custom brokers been raising some of these issues of which we're going to be bringing them on our show to express themselves as they intensify. So they are doing things today to embarrass us tomorrow. Today, APN terminal, you carry like $100 there, they are not holding it. The same mistake we made 10 years ago. It is affecting us as a country. That's how they're doing this so-called decentralization. You don't really care less about what is happening in Maryland and Sino her intention is to concession the Buchanan Post to Vincent Bolloré and the Africa Logistics Group. This is bad, even after the Justice Minister's opinion on the matter, even after what the president wrote. The entire communication of the president is in our possession. Also, he was clear to them, make some changes. This thing is not correct. You are usurping the function of maritime. You are trying to dissolve the National Port Authority. Your new idea does not commensurate with what is globally accepted. The legislature, through Nyobli Kanga Lawrence and others, decided to ignore the real issue and put the interest of their financial benefit before the nation.
The president need to wake up. That's all.
Well, yeah, I said this from the beginning. This is an issue of leadership. President Boyka cannot be leading when he's not in charge. Period. Who is Yambli Kanga or the rest of the other folks from Buchanan flexing muscles under the leadership of President Boyka? It speaks volume that the president is leading and he's not in charge. You have to lead and prove to the Liberian people that you are the president of the Republic of Liberia.
Yeah, that's it.
You can't have folks running here and there, with their own ulterior motive, for some personal gains. People are amassing personal wealth right under the eyes of the president. And this needs to stop. The people of Grand Bassa County deserve better. The rest of the other counties deserve better. And the president's leadership needs to also be able to reflect that. But if you are leading and you are not in charge, of course, the rescue government is in trouble. I look forward that we will continue this discussion. But the Liberian people who are listening to us, they need to have an input, and I think we open the line. Thank you. General, you are muted.
Muted, General.
Open the line. I'm sorry. Yeah. Open the line. We want to hear from them and we want to talk to them directly. We want to see if that phone line is okay. We got Mr. Massa behind there today and see what is really going on. Let's know.
All right, so folks in Radio Land, the program is Conversation with Vision Bearer here on Care Radio 95.9. If listening, to be a part of the conversation, now you can call 0777 959 959 0777 959 959 0777 959 959. That's the number you can use, plus 221 777 959 959. And of course, we'll put you through on this evening. Conversation with the Vision Bearer is the program you're listening to. We take calls now. For those of you who are there, you can call 0777 959 959. Sekou Fofana is calling from this line. Let me just take on the line here. Sekou,
what happened to the line?
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to Ube and our dynamic CEO in person of Mr. Christopher Kier. I want to say you good, happy New Year, Chief. Thank you for giving to us. I want to say Sekou Fofana, member of Unity Party Intellectual Bureau and in Budget tonight. Oh, Jeff, let me say this about the deal. If President Boyka will sign the deal, I'll be very, very disappointed.
Why?
The deal is not in our interest. The deal is not. So you have investors in Liberia that will be manning the port, or you will do it like APM terminal. While up to now we now recover it. Which one? If you people say you are in our interest, we say we don't want the bill. Why are you imposing it on us? We put the lawmaker, then they will get them 6 years of our life, 9 years of our life. They can do nothing for us, just to pour in private. What really we need in the bill? What kind of sacrifice we got to make for the calamity or the curse beyond the country? Which one? Because you put someone they say that good leader there, but as soon as you tell you probably about the policy change. Why young people is doing this to and the other people? Why? The crowd will come to put them in power. Someone that they will not working, they will not having nothing to do. We give you power. We are your direct bosses. It's very sad for Liberia. The country is bleeding. I'll be disappointed. So thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
can you hear me there? What is it, Sheriff?
Thank you.
You call the man off for? Jefferson,
Say,
we
Sekou
want
left
to
the line.
talk.
He said,
No. I heard you say thank you. So let us talk. I want to know if this phone line is going through for us to hear
he
it.
called,
That's not
he
there for
called,
now.
he called my
Okay, I
personal
know
number.
the next one. The next, he call your line.
Yeah, my personal number. Why he called? He called him.
Okay, let's open the phone line.
Yeah, so 0777959 0777959 0777959. That's the number you can use to be on the show tonight. Conversation with the Vision Bearer is the show you're listening to here on Care Radio 95.9. You've listened to all of the panelists. They've made their points. What you're there in really, what do you have to say? We're discussing the port, the decentralization of the port, and all of the points and analysis were made. What are your thoughts? We are with your calls on 0777959 WhatsApp line +231 777 Yes,
Okay,
General, as we wait calls.
okay. While we wait the call, Gerald, do you have anything to add on? I see you are trying to say something. Your phone, your line
I
is
think,
muted.
Can you hear me now?
yes, sir.
Yes.
Your question is whether I have something else to add to this.
Yes. Yeah.
Just to buttress what Obed said earlier on, Ojiba said earlier on, all the Liberian people need to do now is to engage their lawmakers. Because, General, if this should pass, then many we continue to have a reoccurrence of events or situation in our country. I remember the lawmakers said they were taking the TRC document to go on break, to go and explain to their constituents that was fallacy. They never did.
They never
Today,
came back.
no. In fact, they never had a town hall meeting with their constituents. Today, here we are. We never had and people never had the opportunity for perpetrators and victims to engage one another. Now, the new slogan is, "Oh, we need to have a town hall meeting and reconcile." That was something that was supposed to be done long time. And so we're coming back to the same thing. So since the guy feel the lawmakers feel that this is what we can do, we can get our way with these things, the Liberian people will just sing song for a few days, will be over with, we'll get this contract. So, like Brother Andrew said, if the president is ready in charge, he should be proactive. But it seems like from all indication, this government, somebody that's running this government, Youngly will not be taking advantage, most especially when she's part of the rescue and they long claim to be the light. They're taking advantage. They know something that you and myself don't know. I work with Youngly, with the late Harry Green. I know her. And I can say plain blank, she a cunning and crafty person, very cunning and crafty, likewise DeLon. So they know something that the Liberian people don't know. Either the president is not in charge, somebody is in charge. I don't think Jeremiah Kuhn, a young man, is dumber and the president is dumber and they see this going on the bridge. No. Somebody knows something that you and myself don't know. The same way we had this conversation about the bulletproof Jeep, we had a conversation about the quote unquote
Project,
the
presidential
Mano
project.
River project that the president said he was not in the know. Somebody knows something, and the president is taking advantage to mortgage the country to enrich themselves, not only for 2029, but to enrich themselves and their family.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
Liberian people
because
need to stand up.
you look at it, the speaker is part of it, and the speaker's spouse, his wife, is the
Mhm.
political advisor to the president. Now
That
you
tell you if
see,
you are going to be president in
yeah,
the country, you are going to
yeah,
sell the entire country in
yeah,
a twinkling
because
of an eye.
I know when the LRA was leaving the finance ministry, it took a long time. They went through everything. So my thing that if President Bwaka knows that this put is so interesting, he want to decentralize it, yes, but it's also come from the executive, put everything together, maritime, whosoever said this is what they're going to do, and then send it to the house, say, listen, this is what we want. But it came from them. It's like they said, listen, Mr. President, we run the show, we tell you exactly what to do. Now we're into this situation. Jiba, come here. You got a lot of story. Listen, this will be a long thing because I know we're not from Buchanan, but we shouldn't take it for granted that because we're not in Bassa, so it's okay. No, because it's going to continue to the next place. So they say, oh, they put up Morocco, they put up Buchanan, Sano and Maryland. What's in Sano and Maryland? What's there? Come in, Jiba.
We have a call
Somebody
coming
on
in.
the, somebody on the, oh yeah, okay, let it call. Come in.
Good evening.
Yeah. Hello.
Yes, you're live, General.
Yeah.
Can you hear the caller?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, I'm Joseph and Martha. First of all, I am not a politician, but I am so much disappointed in the program as where I belong. For what they are trying to do with the Liberian people, I'm so disappointed. I don't know how much to really express it, but I don't expect Mr. Dillon and Lauren to add what they are trying to force. You know, something that you want to do when it's not right and you're forcing it, it becomes so bad. You know, it's so suspicious. Something that you know that you are not doing the right thing, but forcing people to accept it is very, very bad. So I'm very so disappointed in that.
So where Mr. Massa calling from? Where is he?
I'm calling from John the Barrack, like say around the Army Barrack, where I'm
All
calling
right.
from.
Yeah. And so, Mr. Reverend, do you want to talk to Massa and see if he can hear you loud and clear? You mute.
I think you're muted. Reverend
Muted.
Cummings,
Yeah.
you're muted.
Somebody. Mr. Massa,
Yeah.
are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Yes, I'm
So
here.
what you think Liberians can do now to engage the government of Liberia, most especially, we all know by constitutional provision, the lawmakers or the legislature are direct and critical link of the people. What can they do to engage the lawmakers concerning this? Let's forget about Grand Bassa, but let's focus on the entire country.
Yes, as I said earlier that I am not a politician, but as for my own opinion, we, the citizens, we need to put our lawmaker at the fire, opinion against the wall. That would be the only best thing. Because it seems to be that they will just wake up and play on the mind of Liberians. If we don't push them against the wall, it will be so bad for us. As I said, I'm not a politician, but sometimes when you listen to what they are doing or listen to what people are saying about them, he's so bad, he's so discouraged completely. Sometimes when I look at myself, I say, but why is the need of saying that I'm voting for John Brown? Because you put John Brown there, he will do the same thing. If somebody foreign here, you put Amos there the same way. So I really don't know. I'm just completely disturbed. I really don't
So that is
understand
what discouraging people in Liberia when these guys doing all the things. So we feel that all the politicians are the same. And Ober, let's get on that topic again. This topic will be a very long thing. You got to do a lot of investigation
We have another
because
call coming in.
the executive's supposed to say something by this time, man. Yes, go ahead.
We have another question. Good evening.
Just good evening again.
Seku, what?
I thought that you get 1 minute program. That's why I go up.
Wait,
Yeah.
Seku on your personal line or Seku is on the
It's
station
on the
line?
main line.
Okay, it's
Now
on
on
the
the
main
main
line.
line.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
Seku,
one of the
Seku, I
one
wanted
of
to ask.
the one of
I wanted
the
to ask Seku a question before he started. That time he went off your phone. And that's the
okay,
same guy,
one of
Jefferson.
the panelists asked a very good question. talking about what can we do now, what the way forward. Jeff, I want to say this. This CDC and United Party will destroy the country. I'm gonna be, to be honest with you. This CDC business and the United Party will destroy the country. Because the reason is simple. First of all, we never go to our lawmaker then. I don't know how long to deal with it. That how long they live in the community with us. We don't put them in power. If we say today you're not working, until they think what we want we do, but again we will not do it. We have for CDC, for do yeah, all the Kenya been doing beyond United Party. Raise Fadala, I put my portion of money in my book to defend this government, to build a government. I hope enough. Fadala, we are all near everywhere. They say we are color brigade, we're taking money from the government. But
Yeah, what color brigade?
Yeah, that's what they say. They say that we are color brigade for United Party. What about Fadala? If I receive Fadala from the government, Jeff, I will never see a live to see the end of this month.
I comment, my man.
No, but people have spoken on it. We agree to it. But let them do the right thing. If we forget about the CDC and United Party will stay for the country, their country will change. They made it, they now have you father for that. When we put them in power, they will be money us. What is it? You will be money your boss. Because we are direct bosses. But again, party affiliation, my man working, my partner working, nothing at the can. I will almost near came in the community for the United Party business.
Okay.
Sekou, can I ask you this question? So you think party men will not supersede your action?
Follow us. If Christmas and the B-Day committee, they will just be saying 1,000 to us. That one is more to the
Sekou.
Because we don't get nothing.
Sekou.
It be more great to us. Yeah.
Sekou, okay, listen. They want to ask you a question. Listen to what it man saying.
The question I wanted to ask you, because every time you, the partisans, come out to do something, you always say it's party mandate, party mandate. Do you think if you put people together today to engage your lawmakers, maybe have a sit-in action at the Capitol building, don't you think party mandate will supersede your action?
Thank you for your question, but I don't think United Party, like we the color them, we go by party mandate. Because for one fight, if you pay me, you are doing well for you paying me, you will tell me what to say. And I will be very careful of what I will say.
Okay.
And for me, I'm putting on against anything. But what you are saying it makes sense. But again, we cannot do it. Some of our friends that are more us, they can go for hand now. If I can't ask Jeff for money, I say, Jeff, please give me this money. You give me, you think I'll get face to go to take radical action against you? Most of our friends they're doing. But some of me, I can talk to anybody now because nobody give me a father. But if I can go to your house personally, you give me money, you think I'll get face to can't stay in front of you? Even my friend they're talking about go radicality, we must take that one. I will not even be part of it. Because I don't want to see that man must see me, because if you see me again, he will not do nothing for me. The problem will face in the country.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, my brother. You're right. CDC, UP, we need to get rid of them 2029, which is clear. They will continue to keep us. And Uber and Jefferson, I think you have to take the show from here from the last or almost done. I got to get on this. I have a conference call. I got to get on it no matter what happens. We almost done this. We got a few more minutes, and we almost 1 minute to 2 o'clock. So I want to say thanks very much to the audience and to everyone. We have to continue, and we can give our closing, and then we just call a day. I want to say thank you very much.
I just want to close quickly as a piece of the leaving. I say thank you to our listeners today on air, and we look forward to seeing how best we can continue some of this discussion next week. But our country, as much as it's now in the hands of the rescue government, things that we see being displayed, especially actors on the stage, that tend to also play a role that obviously tend to undermine the government. I would say that if that government wants to have the required influence over the Liberian people in terms of leadership, it has to take that lead. Failure on the part of the government to making sure that key folks know exactly what they have been employed for or what they are serving for. If they don't do so, we will continue to hear more drama. And the unnecessary drama may lead to something different tomorrow. So to the rescue government, the Liberian people give you a piece of job to do, headed by our leadership. That leadership should definitely be able to lead so as not to have more than 2-3 presidents in the same country. It's all because President Burkhardt is not putting his feet down to making sure that every sector of the government needs to play its role. So we look forward to the government, to the issues that are now, in the air, to be able to put its feet down. So I am still believing in the government to do so. And for our team on the ground, we look forward to next week that we can have more details like this today, especially for Jiba. I would like to see our listeners, the listening public, to play a more active role with longer time that we can give them next week. So all of us can play that joint role to informing the Liberian people. The Liberian people need to hear this. Let us continue to live these things at the end of the day so that at least our country can be rescued according to the name that is in power. Thank you.
Okay, so Obed, in a minute, how will you love to play?
Yeah, so like Mr. Andrew Kier said, I also do agree with him. This has got to do with the participation of our citizens. So when we are having sensitive conversation of such that posterity will judge all of us, it is important to give more time to us, the ordinary people, to have a say on it, because it is about us. Tomorrow, future legislatures or legislators will come and do the same old thing with this precedent if passed into law. The legislature in the future will just come out and just pass anything without following what is right or what should be done. So they are laying down a bad procedure today. They're setting a bad precedent today that will embarrass us in the future tomorrow. So all I can say is that let's stop this. We'll do all we can to bring all sides to the table. The people who support this, to hear from them why are they supporting it. And tomorrow morning on the program, Kia Boni Show will hope to have with us around 7:30 in the morning, Abdullah Mahmoud, who will also be joining us live to give us an insightful, detailed conversation relative this. So those of you who are listening, it's going to be an interesting Monday on tomorrow morning on Kia Radio that you really want to miss. We're going to talk about several other national issues. And the key on the platform will be this so-called port decentralization by the lawmakers. So it's a good thing. And next week on the show, we hope to also bring in others, and then we'll know what will happen in the course of this week so we can talk about that. I've had a very bad experience with JFK. Next week, when we come on the show, we'll talk about the medical issue as well happening in our country. If us at our level, we experience what we went through, well, I mean, JFK is a mess from what I saw. That needs to be up to standard. So not to take much of the time because we're totally out of time, I would like to say let's keep listening to Care Radio 95.9, like our YouTube channel, go to Facebook and like our page also, as we are here to serve you, the Liberian people.
Okay. All right. Pastor Cummins.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity. Jiba, I look forward to the program tomorrow morning. If possible, send me the link. I want to be around. Maybe there's something I heard you saying. So I want to see whether your guests want to do a PR or it's about the Liberian people.
Okay. Yes, we'll send you the link.
All right.
Okay, folks, so that's it. That's how we come to the end of today's edition. My name is Jefferson Weir. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.